The famous Tonglen practice allows us to be present and helpful to others when they are suffering, facing adversity, or confronting illness. This practice is the culmination of the compassion cultivation training and is based on a widespread and powerful Buddhist practice. In this practice, we take suffering from others and offer our love, our courage, our strength, and our joy. Tonglen can also be used to reduce our own suffering by freeing us from our own excessive self-concern and focusing our attention on others. There's a story about a Tibetan musician, Nawang Khachag, who suffered a horrible car accident and had to have multiple life-saving surgeries. It was Tonglen that had sustained him during the weeks of pain and not knowing whether he would live. He would spend hours in bed thinking of others who were experiencing physical and emotional pain. He would breathe in their suffering and breathe out his compassion and concern for their recovery. Tonglen can allow us to become oases of peace and healing. The Dalai Lama used this practice to transform not only the suffering of the Tibetan protesters who were being injured during the 2008 demonstrations in Tibet, but also the anger and hatred of the Chinese soldiers who were cracking down on the protesters. As the Dalai Lama explained, whether or not it actually helped those on the ground, it transformed his relationship to the suffering and allowed him to respond more effectively. So let's begin by settling your mind and settling your body. Take several long, deep breaths through your nose. Relax the jaw. Relax the shoulders. Now think of someone who is suffering. You can choose a loved one, a friend, or even a whole group of people. Reflect on the fact that, just like you, they wish to overcome suffering and to be joyful. Try to feel a sense of concern for the well-being of the person or group you were focusing on. Feel deep within your heart the desire for them to be free of suffering. Now let's take in their suffering. As you inhale, imagine the pain being drawn from their body and dissolving when it encounters the warmth and bright light of your compassionate heart. You can see their pain as dark clouds that are dissolving as they encounter the bright light of your heart. If the idea of taking in others' suffering is concerning or unsettling, you can imagine their suffering dissolving into a bright orb of light in front of you that is radiating out from your compassionate heart. And now, give out your joy. As you exhale, imagine that you are sending the person or group rays of light filled with your love and compassion, your courage and your confidence, your strength and your joy. Repeat this practice of taking the suffering and transforming it by giving your joy. If you have done this practice for an individual or loved one, you can extend the practice to others who are suffering all around the world. If you are taking the suffering of someone who is being harmed by others, you can take the cruelty and hatred that is causing the harm, and give your love and kindness. If you feel able, you can practice taking on the suffering of all beings and giving them your compassion and your joy. Stay quiet as your love and joy radiate out from your heart. Peace be with you, friends, and with the whole world. Namaste.